Now as the flames begin to lick, a roar goes up from the crowds. Now the fire is caught, and more pieces of sandalwood are being placed. Garlands being flung into the air, policemen's sticks being raised to try and keep the crowds down. We're trying to move in closer to get a last glimpse.
As you've just heard, the moment Mahatma Gandhi's funeral pyre was lit at Raj Ghat was carried live across the country. The calm, steady voice describing those final rites belonged to Melville de Mellow. To understand the significance of that moment, we have to return to the beginning of that day. On the morning of January 31st, 1948, Delhi woke to an unfamiliar quiet. The previous evening at Birla House, Mahatma Gandhi had been shot and killed. India, independent for less than 6 months and still coping with the violence and displacement of partition, was confronted with the loss of the leader many regarded as its moral center. Inside a modest broadcasting van operated by All India Radio, de Mello prepared for an assignment unlike any other. He was 34 years old. The equipment around him was basic. There was no prepared script and no opportunity to pause once the transmission began. For as long as the funeral procession made its way from Birla House to Raj Ghat, he would provide continuous commentary. When he started speaking, his tone was composed and deliberate. "I can see him now," he said. "He lies upon a simple bier, wrapped in the tricolour he loved. His chest is bare. I can see the dark patches of the assassin's bullets against the skin of his frail body. His face is the face of a man in prayer." Those descriptions reached listeners far beyond the capital. In towns and villages across the country, people gathered around radio sets to follow the procession in real time. Many would never have the chance to come to Delhi. Through de Mello's words, they were able to follow each stage of the journey. The procession moved slowly through streets lined with large crowds. People stood quietly, some with folded hands, others in tears. Flowers were placed along the route. De Mello focused on simple, observable details. "There are garlands upon garlands," he noted. "Flowers rain down from balconies. A mother presses her child forward and whispers, 'Look well, my son. This is Bapu.'" As the hours passed, the scale of the gathering became clear. Soldiers attempted to maintain order while allowing people a final glimpse. From time to time, chants of Mahatma Gandhi Ki Jai rose above the steady movement of the crowd. De Mello allowed these sounds to come through before continuing his narration. "There is no anger here," he observed at one point. "Only a silence that is deeper than any shout." Walking near the bier was India's Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. De Mello described the scene without embellishment. "I stood silently beside Mahatmaji's most beloved follower for 30 years, he said. "Then I saw him lower his head, and I saw a heartbroken Prime Minister weep." The commentary continued for 7 hours. There were no breaks and no commercial interruptions. De Mello adjusted his pace carefully, balancing description with reflection. "Only yesterday," he remarked, "this frail figure walked among us, urging peace between brother and brother. Today he lies silent, and we must ask whether we have the courage to live as he taught." As the cortege reached Raj Ghat, preparations for the cremation began. Leaders and family members gathered close to the pyre. The crowd fell noticeably quieter. "The sandalwood is being arranged," de Mello reported. "The chants grow softer. A prayer arises not from one religion, but from many." When the flame was applied, smoke rose steadily into the afternoon sky. "The fire takes hold," he said. "The body of Mahatma Gandhi returns to the elements." After a brief pause, he added words that would be widely remembered. "Let us not say that he is gone. Let us say that he has entrusted us with his unfinished work." When the transmission ended, de Mello had been speaking for 7 continuous hours. The broadcast would later be regarded as a landmark in Indian radio journalism, not because of theatrical language, but because of its clarity, restraint, and sense of responsibility. In the years that followed, de Mello continued a distinguished career, covering major national and international events. In 1963, the Government of India honoured him with the Padma Shri in recognition of his contribution to broadcasting. For many who listened that day, the memory of the funeral is inseparable from his voice. In an era before television was widespread, it was radio that connected the country. And on January 31, 1948, it was Melville de Mellow's steady narration that allowed millions to witness, together, the final journey of Mahatma Gandhi.
When I arrived at Birla House, a Sikh priest was reciting from the Sukhmani Sahib. I first visited the spot where Mahatma Gandhi fell. Later, I went into Birla House, which was plunged into mourning. I walked along the heavily carpeted passages to the room which had been Gandhiji's. Dazed crowds in mute procession passed by the large window, throwing floral tributes, mostly red roses, into the room, and then, placing their hands together in mute bewilderment, passed by his window and out of sight. In the room, the scene was heartrending. The walls were white. The room was simply furnished. The deep blue carpet contrasted with the white mattress upon which lay Mahatmaji. He was shrouded in spotless white khadi, from his feet to his abdomen. His chest was bare, and I could see the dark patches of the assassin's bullets against the skin of his frail body. His eyes were closed, but his face was the face of a man in prayer. I could describe his face and my thoughts as I gazed on Mahatmaji only in the words I learned as a child. Those words were, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Around Mahatma Gandhi's neck was a hand-spun khadi garland. The mourners filled the room, so did the heavy smell of incense, being burnt at the head of the Mahatma. The floor was a sea of rose petals. There were 2 electric lights in the room, but only one was burning. Family members of Mahatma Gandhi, including Mr. Jawaharlal Gandhi, his son, and his immediate staff, who held a night-long vigil at Birla House, were near the bier. Inside, people wept and sobbed. There was great grief. I recognized amongst the mourners in the grief-laden room Mrs. Sucheta Kripalani, Pandit Govind Ballabh, who arrived by a special plane to pay his last homage. Mrs. Indira Gandhi, her eyes swollen with much weeping. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who sat silently, looking fixedly at the floor. Sardar Baldev Singh, the family of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the Nawab of Chathari, and many other prominent people. Rajkumari Amrit Kaur sat at the Mahatma's feet. As I turned to leave, Pandit Nehru entered and stood near me. I stood silently by Mahatmaji's most beloved follower for 30 years. His fine-cut features were drawn in agony. His face looked grey. The muscles of his jaw moved, as if he was fighting back a sob. Then I saw him lower his head, and I saw a heartbroken Prime Minister weep.
Thank you for watching our video. We hope you found it interesting and educational. Like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.